Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable podcast. We are here today to talk about one of the most versatile foods out there, a food that I think there are so many different takes and perspectives on across the world, and we are here to bring in our pizza expertise from our travels and experiences around the world. And just a disclaimer here, if you haven't eaten your breakfast, lunch, or dinner yet, you might want to pause before you listen to this episode because you might get hungry or you might lose your appetite depending on some of the topics we might talk about in some of these countries. So should be a fun episode today, and I'm excited to have my partner in crime and my buddy who definitely knows his way around cooking and pizza. So I'm excited to hear his thoughts and get his expertise. So without further ado, my good buddy Jared. What's going on, Jared?
No, I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I do love a good pizza. Yeah, I've been to multiple countries.
I think we've eaten enough pizza to say we might be. I would consider, if you consider a person who hasn't eaten pizza versus how much pizza you and I have eaten, I'd say we're getting close to that expert category. Would you say?
What do you think is the percentage of people on this earth that haven't eaten pizza? 2%?
Well, some countries, pizza is like a special treat that you don't eat very often.
Yeah, but that wasn't the question though. What's the percent of people do you think that have never had pizza?
Never had pizza. That's a really great question.
I think pizza.
It's got to be pretty low.
Pizza as far as a food goes has the best PR out there. Yep. No, everybody knows what pizza is. I don't think there's any food out there like that. But we'll get into it a little bit more. But it was, by the way, in 2020, this is according to the New York Post, considered globally, the Italian dish was found to be the most popular Google search among online users who looked up takeout options in 2020.
Oh, really?
And I think they surveyed about 109 countries or something. Can you guess what number two would be?
So pizza was number one.
Pizza's number one. Reigns
number
supreme.
Two.
Pizza supreme.
For takeout.
Mm-hmm.
Chinese food.
Very good, Chad. Wow.
Really?
Very impressive. Okay. That deserves a ham horn.
Well, it's funny, Jared. I think of like pizza delivery, and then when I think of takeout, honestly, I think of Chinese takeout.
Yeah.
Interestingly, that's just what comes to mind.
Where we grew up, at least where I grew up, Chinese delivery when I was a kid was not really a thing. Mm-mm. I mean, obviously this was before apps and stuff, so like it was a restaurant deciding to do delivery. But I never really remember any Chinese restaurants that even offered delivery. Now, obviously that changed with the apps and, just about anything you can get delivery. But it's interesting how pizza was the delivery food, and maybe some other ones that I can't even think of, but primarily pizza was the delivery food, and everything else you order it and go get it.
I have a theory why
when
that
we were
might
kids,
be, Jared. Right. I have a theory why pizza might be more of a delivery type food is because I think generally it just travels pretty well.
Pizza travels very well.
Cardboard box, it's pretty easy. You put it on your passenger seat and off you go. Whereas Chinese food, you got your soups, you got all your different dishes with different lids on them sometimes.
Dude.
So if one of those were to be cracked,
how many times do you also get some juices seeping out? They have to tie the plastic bag super tight to keep it just all together.
Sometimes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Or if you get like something fried, when you have fried stuff in styrofoam, it causes the condensation and then it gets all soggy. Yeah. And that's what ruins like French fries or hamburgers or like chicken, like anything fried gets ruined by condensation. So you're right. Pizza is probably one of the best. Now, this is more of a modern popular food here in the United States, but two things that I say rival actually, I can think of three off the top of my head. That rival pizza for delivery would be ramen, which, as I meant, that wasn't really popular back in the day. At least, obviously, here in the
Only
US.
in
Obviously,
college.
It's been very
when
popular.
You're a poor college student, it's incredibly popular.
Good ramen was not popular back in the day for us. But ramen and pho, those two travel very well because they keep the broth and the actual food part of it separate. So what I do is I always put the broth in a pot before I actually pour it over and have it nice and hot. So that's nice. And another one is Indian food. That's good too. I don't know why, but that's good too.
Indian food.
Yeah. I have a question for you before we move on to Untranslatables and before we get deep into pizza. This is just my starting pizza question for you, Chad. By the way, give us 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher, please.
Пожалуйста.
Because the pizza talk is only just getting started.
That's right.
What is your go-to pizza order?
Dude, it's so boring. It's there's a local place here in Dexter that I really like. It's just a regular pepperoni pizza. Get pizza with breadsticks, you're good to go.
So what shape is it?
Just it's a round, and it's weird. It's not thin crust, but it's also not like a thick. It's not a deep dish. It's just kind of your regular
pan pizza, maybe you would say.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
And they use like a special dough at this certain pizza place. It's called Classic Pizza, and it's just really good. However, I do also really like a deep dish pizza that's like has that crunch to it with like a spicy type of crust or a garlic type of crust.
Deep dish?
And then
what do you mean by
pepperoni.
deep dish?
I mean kind of like a Jets deep dish where it's like a square pan.
You have to specify these things because deep dish could also be like Chicago.
Right. So
Detroit style pizza is what you mean.
I guess, yeah.
That's what that's called.
Detroit style's a little different than Jets because doesn't Detroit
probably. Because the sauce is on top.
But hey, that's what we're here to talk about today, Jared.
But
there's
I think
lots of differences
I would say
in pizza.
Jets is probably Detroit style inspired, but then it's trash pizza at the end of the day, and they conform it more to the trash pizza ways. And that's not to say, I know it sounds bad, but trash pizza to me is a whole category of pizza. So you're just a standard pepperoni person, all right?
Yep.
Right.
As boring as that is, what about you?
My order my favorite place changes from time to time. I haven't had a place here in Michigan since I've been back at least that rivals some of my favorite places in Philly. But I think Philly just has much more of an Italian influence and community. Mm-hmm. I think must have something to do with it. But anyway, my favorite pizza comes from a place called Crispelli's, which is like a local chain in the Metro Detroit area. And I would say my favorite, because I'd say go-to, I have two different. I'll usually do Detroit style, and then I'll do, but the toppings really don't change either way. So either I do Detroit style, or like it's sort of as same as you would say, like the traditional pan. Crispelli's, they pretend to be, I mean, I'm sure they are. I don't want to be rude. That's probably like the owner's name. That like it's like Italian
Shots
influence.
Fired, Jared.
So the crust is like it's on the thinner side, but it's not like a thin crust by any means. And then I'll do pepperoni, and then I'll usually add either onions or mushrooms, depending on how I feel. But sometimes I'll just do pepperoni as well. I'm boring too. I mean, my answer is only the slightest bit more interesting than yours because I added one more pretty generic topping.
Well, the thing is too, Jared, with pizza, I mean, in the States, just pepperoni cheese pizza, it's a classic. It's hard to go wrong with it.
I mean, we're indoctrinated as kids.
For sure.
Do you want pepperoni or cheese?
That's true. It's kind of like
there are two kind of kids: the pepperoni and cheese kids, and the cheese kids were always weird.
Well, it's kind of like the vanilla ice cream, chocolate ice cream deal too, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, or even the white milk, chocolate milk kind of.
Yeah, but that's different. Who would voluntarily choose just plain milk over chocolate milk?
You'd be surprised, Jared.
Yeah. I don't come from a family that eats milk or drinks milk with dinner, though, like you do.
We're just weird, I guess, Jared. I
think that's a white person thing.
That's a what?
It's a white person thing?
Could be. Very well could be.
Yeah, all right. Let's get into some untranslatables, Chad. Do you have any pizza-related untranslatable?
I do, actually.
Oh, do you really?
I'm super excited, yeah.
Oh, wow. I love it. I was just kidding. I'm excited.
Let me put it this way, Jared. I have one pizza. We'll get to that. Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't you worry.
Okay.
I've come prepared today, Jared, because I was excited about this episode. But yeah, first of all, untranslatables are idioms, proverbs, sayings, axioms that don't always translate on a one-to-one basis into English. Or even if they are in English, they aren't always clear what the meaning is. And I will start us off, Jared. All of mine today are Italian. They are all food-based, but I do have one that's pizza-based. And this one surprises me a little bit, Jared. I won't say any more because I don't want to give it away, but here is the untranslatable for you. C'è pizza, which means what a pizza.
Okay, so it's surprising because I guess the
many fregista.
Remember that untranslatable.
Would like to be careless, right?
I think so. I think so. It's like I don't. Yeah. At first you would think like, what a magnificent pizza I just ate. But I imagine it's the opposite. What kind of pizza is this? What a pizza. What is this?
Well, so
what, a pizza?
We just talked about our pizza preferences, Jared. What was the word I used to describe my pizza preference?
Basic
or
boring?
Basic. There we go. Very good. Hit that ham horn.
Okay.
What a pizza is just kind of like how boring.
So like like a cheese pizza.
Yeah.
What a
well,
pizza
maybe it's
is
just
this?
because, in Italy, a pizza's nothing. I mean, you could get a pizza probably whenever, wherever in Italy. You know what I mean? So it's like nothing super special.
I also believe, if I'm not mistaken, in Italy, pizza is like just trash food. Like here, as I'll explain later, there's trash pizza and then there's not trash pizza. But I think in Italy, just the idea of pizza, it's not that it's like bad food, but it's just like it's like snack food. It's not even.
Right.
It's not like a
on
meal.
A level as
Like this is
exactly.
not dinner. Like what? This is nothing. Like this is nothing to be impressed about as far as a dinner goes.
Right, because it's just bread with some stuff on top of it.
Yeah. We'll make this, and you can take a slice of it while we're spending hours making the actual food.
Right.
Is how I picture pizza in Italy.
Right. Well, I'll never forget. One of my buddies was telling me he was in Rome with his family, and his younger sister really for some odd reason, wanted to have some ketchup to dip in her pizza, and they were at a really nice Italian restaurant, and I guess the chef freaked out because they had to hand make the ketchup. And I have no idea what entails making ketchup, but I'm sure it's not easy.
How old is this girl now?
Well, now she's graduated college, but this was when she was like 10 or 11.
She sounds like she'd be. That is. Why would? Oh my God, that makes me so like bothered. Why parents would even indulge such a ridiculous request? First of all, I'd be so embarrassed to be like, no, we're not gonna be in Italy and ask for. We're not gonna do that anywhere. First of all,
right. Well, I'm sure the parents were probably a little embarrassed.
And then just the burden that you put on someone to essentially ruin their food is how do you just? I guess ketchup's easy to make.
No, the chef got mad because I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's easy to hand make, is it?
I
have no idea.
I never thought to just whip up some ketchup. That's ridiculous.
Right.
Also, her palate is ruined.
Well,
there's no coming back
give her
from
a break.
something
She was
like
11
that.
years old. I'm sure now if she was
you
back
should know
in
better
Rome, she
by
probably
11.
wouldn't order that. All right, let me give you a couple more Italian untranslatables. Do you have any untranslatables for us today?
I can give you one.
Let's hear it.
None of these are food related or anything.
That's all right.
But I do like this first one. I like them both actually. This is Haitian Creole, and it's Depi Job te Caporal. Ever since the devil was a corporal.
So it just means for a long time.
Yes, but I wouldn't say it like that. How would you say it? Yes, that is what it is.
How would you say it?
It's a little bit more specific. Just change the wording up a little bit. Since
I don't know.
Since the beginning of time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So like okay, since the beginning of time.
So
gotcha.
that's what I'm saying. You're essentially right, but I feel like there's a slightly
just means like
different
forever.
context
Like
to,
okay. Interesting. Okay. This one's a cool one, Jared, also Italian. Andare, I think this is how you say it. Andare liscio come l'olio.
Something about oil.
Very good. To go smooth like oil. Welcome to the Untranslatable podcast, and it's time to go smooth like oil. What do you think that means, Jared?
To go smooth like oil is, I mean, that's just like to laid back vibes, bro. Just don't let anything get you too stressed out, and just operate calmly.
I would say it's
coolly.
even more literal than that. Basically means that something kind of goes so smoothly that there's like no problems, and it's just nice and smooth.
I see. So it's
that
like
one was almost too obvious. I think
I had to get cable or internet installed a few days ago, and it somehow went smooth like oil. It didn't,
exactly,
but theoretically,
of course it didn't.
It was actually pretty fine, except for the guy. He knocked on the door, and the first thing he did, I was like, "Hello, how are you?" And he's like, "I'm so tired."
Oh, great! That's a good way to start off.
I was like, who does that at their job? And then I have a crawl space. I don't have a basement. And he's like, where's the basement? I'm like, it's a crawl space. And he's like, oh, that sucks. And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Bro, listen, this is my house. Yeah,
get in that hole and give me some internet.
Man. All
right, I have one more untranslatable for you, and it's Cantonese, and it's Phu Thai, and it's Buddhist style. Living life Buddhist style.
Buddhist style.
Buddhist or Buddhist? Buddhist or Buddhist?
It's definitely Buddhist.
It's not Buddhist.
I'm pretty sure it's Buddhist. I think. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Buddhism.
To live life like a Buddhist, is that what it is? Or live life Buddha style?
Not that. Well, you got to break it down. You can't use the word in the definition.
Well, no. I'm asking you. That's what the untranslatable was.
Oh, Buddhist style.
Buddhist style. Okay, so that's
Buddhist style.
You're tripping me up here with your pronunciation.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're saying Buddha, right?
Buddhist. Buddhist.
Buddhist, okay. Or Buddhist, as you say it. Okay.
You couldn't hear the ST before that I was saying?
It's Buddhist style, right?
Buddhist style.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the clarification.
I didn't realize that would be...
This means living life... This means living life with not a lot of material possessions, maybe.
Nah, not really. I mean, it could be. That could certainly be part of it. But I would say that not having a lot of material things is an aspect. Can lead to a living life Buddhist style, but that's not specifically what it is.
Can you give me some clues or a world-class example?
You know, what are some characteristics you think about Buddhism or Buddhist or Buddha? I don't know.
Well, obviously you think
Buddha
of the kind of jolly, chubby, bald dude.
How would you explain his personality? Jolly's a good one.
He seems like friendly, kind, welcoming, gentle.
I like where you're at, but you're not really on the right track. Those can be aspects of it, but it's more living life with a nonchalant attitude.
Okay.
If you're having a Buddhist
being aloof
style, no, just not being so stressed and rushed, and not overwhelming yourself, and living life within what your means are, whatever that might be. You know.
Okay.
I think it's just, and so that's why I'd say not having a lot of material, I think, can certainly contribute to that, because the more material you have, sort of the more things you have to pay attention to, concern yourself with, the more financial investments you probably have into things and stuff like that. So that could be an aspect of it. Also, what they say is, live life with the approach of what will be, or as Stevie Wonder says.
I don't know. What does he say?
Sera. What are you talking about?
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know that. That's very good to know. Well, Jared, I thought it would be fun to get us started with our pizza topic today, to ask you some slang phrases that chefs use that are pizza related and test your pizza knowledge. So, Jared, what do you think bones are?
Bones? I would say bones are the embers of the pizza oven fire. Damn, okay.
Nope.
Bones. The bones. You need strong bones on that fire.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Bones are the leftover pieces of crust on plates.
Yes. Okay.
The bones.
Oh, I see. At first, at first I thought you were saying like if they're making a pizza and there's like little strips, of leftover dough. But you mean after like people? Are you a crust eater, Chad?
It depends on the crust. Depends on the crust on the pizza. If it's kind of some pizzas, you get them with a little bit burnt crust. Not a fan.
Chicago style pizza crust sucks.
Oh yeah, well half
just
the pizza's
hard
crust.
But like the outside crust, it's hard and it's big.
You have to cut it with like a knife, and you have to
and then like the dough in between the pizza and the crust is this sort of weird cakey material. It's not good. And then the thing about Chicago style pizza crust too is like, all right, you could either have 2 pieces or a piece and a half without crust, or 1 piece with crust. Anyway, please keep going. Don't get me started on crust, Chad. I'm a crust person, by the way.
What's leopard spotting?
Is that like the little bubbles or on the crust when it when it's cooked, or like the black spots on the crust?
And the black spots too.
Okay.
It's both. Yeah, very, very good. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if there are any other.
I like leopard spotting because you can taste those little burnt pieces.
Yeah, and some of those are pretty good actually. Yeah, that has adds a nice little flavor to it.
And it adds a little crunch. Those usually add like a little crunch to it. And I like the holes. I like it when there's like a bubble and parts of like a thin crust. I do like that.
So Jared, what is a cheese lock?
A cheese lock. Is that the connection? So when you cut the slices, pre-cut them, there's still a cheese lock. You don't cut them all the way where there's no cheese lock.
So a cheese lock is actually...
I love this.
What?
I love this. I've never heard any of these.
Yeah. I thought I could get you with a couple of these, so I'm glad I found this website.
Let me just blast through this.
Right. So a cheese lock, Jared, is the placement of the cheese on top of the toppings so the toppings don't slide around.
I don't like those styles of pizza.
I prefer the toppings on the top.
Okay, so sure. So that's where you put the toppings, which I guess now they're not toppings anymore, on top of the sauce, and then put the cheese on top of that. Yeah, exactly. I'm not a huge fan of that because the way your taste buds work, you lose a lot of the flavor of the toppings when they're mixed in. Like the cheese is the primary flavor you get rather than the toppings when it's like that.
Right. Speaking of cheese, Jared, let me give you two more cheese phrases, and let me see if you, and I'm going to give you both together, so hopefully you won't get them confused, because I think when you hear these phrases, I would confuse one for the other, but I'm hoping by telling you both of them, you might be able to differentiate. So the first one is called cheese pull. The other one is called cheese drag.
Cheese pull, I imagine, is like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles connection of the cheese to the pizza and how long it stays connected as you pull it from a slice.
Exactly. And the cheese drag?
The cheese drag, I imagine, is something very difficult to control and very crucial. And if it is what I think it is, Chad, which is the ability for the cheese to stay on the pizza when you're with the force of the pull. So sometimes if you have pizza and you pull, the cheese stays connected to the main piece, and you just get a piece of bread and sauce.
That's exactly what
it is.
So the
drag is the ability is the cheese being dragged off of the
exactly,
pizza.
And then you just get that piece of bread and a little bit of tomato sauce and maybe some cheese right by the crust.
And then when you try to pull the cheese and get it back on, it's never the same.
For sure.
You can always taste that you can always taste the cheese drag.
Exactly. It's the funny thing is though, Jared,
tainted.
All of these things add to the kind of experience of eating pizza, right? I mean, like that, I think that is what can ruin a pizza, is if you have terrible cheese drag on your pizza, just forget it.
Yeah, for sure.
Just forget it.
I agree.
All right, I'll give you one last one. This is a really interesting one, and I'm sure I'm going to butcher this because this is an Italian word. Cornicione, and the cornicione, Jared, is the raised lip on the circumference of a pizza's crust, typically used in a Neapolitan-style pizza, and this is a way of differentiating the crust perimeter from the crust at the bottom of the pizza.
Can you say that one more time? The crust at the perimeter versus the crust at the bottom?
Yeah, so I think it just helps you differentiate where the crust kind of starts and ends, I think.
Oh, it's like the Mason-Dixon line of pizza versus crust.
That's one way to put it, sure.
I gotcha.
But yeah. See, I thought it would be fun to share some of those pizza phrases. Now, I do want to test one last thing with you, Jared, because I think this is kind of fun. And then we can get into talking about different places in pizza. I want to give you some slogans and taglines and see if you can recognize some of the pizza places.
Oh, yes.
Because some of these I recognized, and I was like, all right, if I know some of these, Jared might know some of these too.
Let's do it.
All right. The first one, Pizza.
Oh, that's Little Caesars.
Very good. Okay. Well, this one's too... I'm not even going to say that one. It's too obvious.
Just give it to me.
I was going to say nobody out pizzas the hut, but that's obviously way too obvious.
I did not know that one. You could have been you could have been nobody out pizzas blank and just not said.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
The word, because I would not have known that one.
Let me see if I can find some other ones that are similar. Okay. How about this one? This one's an interesting one. From the farm to the pan.
What? California Pizza Kitchen.
I think you're right. I think
what do you mean
you're right.
Think I'm right? You're quizzing me.
It doesn't have the names of these places.
That's okay. That's hilarious.
It doesn't have the names of these places.
From the farm to the pan is what it is?
Yeah. I think you might be right.
Oh, jeez. See, I thought this. See, Chad, you can't say you're going to quiz me then not have the answers.
Okay, well here, let me give you this one.
No,
I do know the answer for this one.
Okay.
Get to the door. It's
Domino's. I don't know.
Very good. Oh, okay. Yeah, very good. Yeah, get to the door. It's Domino's.
All right, let's move on because I thought we can't. It's gonna infuriate me if neither of us figure out the answer to even more of these.
Fair enough. Let's talk about pizza around the world, Jared.
Sure. Where was pizza invented, Chad?
I think Italy, right?
Yeah. Remember back in the day, for some reason there used to always be that rumor that it was invented in China. Why is that?
I don't know, actually.
Because I looked it up and I saw no indication that it was invented in China.
I'm not sure. Now, I have been told by a couple Chinese people that spaghetti was invented in China.
Actually, to be fair, maybe that's what I thought it was. To be fair, You're wrong. It was invented in Naples, and I think it was invented in Naples before Naples was part of China. Or excuse me, before Naples was part of Italy.
Right.
So it was technically invented in Naples.
Okay. Before it was Italy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know when
it did originate in the place that then became Italy?
Right. Yes. Do you know when pizza popularized in the United States?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like it's probably been around for a while.
There was a very distinct time in history that caused.
It was when all the Italians came over.
There you
right?
go. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that makes the most sense.
That's why. That's why.
When was that though? I couldn't even tell you when that was.
I think it was like the 40s. Is
okay.
Like the 30s and 40s was when that first started. And that is, that's why New York is kind of considered the epicenter of pizza.
Right.
In the United States, some would argue in the world, even. I think there's some legitimate argument to be made, and I'm sure you're going to hate this, that the U.S. has far surpassed Italy as far as pizza innovation goes.
Oh, I don't know. I would agree with that, actually.
You know how, actually, a perfect comparison. It's like beer, bro. It's just like beer.
Yeah.
You go to Germany, Czech Republic, Belgium. They're like, if you use anything other than these three ingredients, we don't even consider this beer. This is just an alcoholic beverage.
Right.
And I don't know if they're that strict about pizza in Italy, but
probably.
But we've certainly taken pizza and made it like an art of various sorts, whether it be like legitimate art, like high quality pizzas to frozen pizzas to trash pizzas, as I call it, which is different than frozen pizza. To like various, I don't know. I just feel like we really reinvented the game, and I think it just goes along with my theory that the U.S. just flavor blasts everything.
Oh, for sure.
This is another perfect example, I think.
I was actually talking, and I love that phrase, Jared. Flavor blast is the perfect phrase for it. I was talking to my students actually 2 days ago about how we basically we flavor blast everything in the U.S. or we will combine the most random stuff to achieve that weird flavor blast.
And we always have to take it to the next food level. It's like, how about we fry butter or something like that? Like,
exactly. So that doesn't surprise me one bit, and I would agree with that statement. Actually, I would say that I think pizza in general, it just serves kind of almost like a different purpose, I think, in the U.S. and in Europe. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in Europe...
Not even... You think still today?
I think even... Yeah. I mean, I feel like...
I think it serves a bigger role, I would say. I wouldn't say different role. I would say it probably serves a bigger role. Because I would say frozen pizzas are super common in most European countries, at least the ones we've been to. Delivery pizza is pretty common. But I think the variety of pizza is a lot less limited, and the kind of like this kind of just like at least a lot of the European places I've had pizza in, Germany, Czech Republic, France, outside of Italy. Obviously, Italy probably has arguably the best, just because it was invented there. Outside of the U.S., of course. You kind of, at least in my experience, you kind of are generally getting the same kind of pizza. Now, maybe unless you go to like a sit-down restaurant, it might be a little different. But like if you just get like sort of your standard takeout pizza, I haven't seen a lot of variety. Have you? And it's all sort of that same sort of thin crust, and it's like it's just like that thin sort of pizza with that kind of soft crust on it.
Right.
And that's sort of all you get. Obviously the toppings vary, but
the other thing too is unless you go to like a more artisanal or like different type of restaurant, a standard pizzeria, you're not going to have that much variety.
And there's a lot more restaurants that just do takeout. Like they don't have like a lot of, at least in my experience, just standalone. You can't eat here. You can take pizza and go, which is more like trash pizza thing, I guess.
Right. Well, that was one of my favorite. I think we might have even gone there in Prague. There was like a little pizza joint right on Václav Square, where it was like right where the tram lines were. I thought we maybe grabbed a bite there.
We might have. We were moving so fast. I certainly don't remember a slice.
But once
of pizza
again, it was the same idea. There wasn't even like seating room really inside. It was you go and you either buy a couple slices or take a whole pizza,
which is not common. Like the couple slice thing is not really common in Europe, by the way. I don't think so.
I think it.
Maybe in the bigger cities, if you have like I guess I could imagine it in big cities like Prague or Berlin or something.
Right,
but in general, to me,
that is kind of rare.
In the suburbs. But that's not. I mean, I guess of course it wasn't when I was in the suburbs. There's no one that would use it. All right, so I just want to talk generally about pizza a little bit.
Okay,
best food in the world.
I mean, I don't know if I'd say best, but I would certainly say most versatile.
Yes.
And I think I would say one of the
best known, most popular food in the world.
Well, I would say most popular because I don't know that many people who are like, I wouldn't eat pizza. Like I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you meet that person, you're like, what's wrong with you? Like, what do you mean you don't? Like, I understand you don't want pizza maybe, but what do you mean you don't like pizza?
Right.
I would say, and no matter where you are in the world, for the most part, obviously there are plenty of exceptions. If you, but for the most part in the developed world, you can find pizza, and you generally know what you're going to get.
Right. That's true. Unless you go to China. Oh my God, you should have seen all of the different stuff on pizza over there.
Yeah, okay.
It was crazy.
But I'll say this. I think of one competitor, but I don't think it's as complete of a competitor as pizza by any means. What do you think would be the one competitor as far as Ubiquity? Not at all. Nowhere close.
No,
not at all.
Ubiquity.
French fries.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fries. You're right.
But fries, I mean, it can be a meal, but it's not a great meal.
It's not really a meal. Let's be honest.
It's not a meal.
It's a
you can make
dish.
it a meal if you really put your heart to it.
If you eat enough fries, it's certainly a meal.
But pizza is a meal on its own because it has everything you need. You know, it has all the food groups: bread,
proteins,
cheese,
right,
vegetables, and meat. You know.
Mm-hmm. And then if you have a beer, you get your carbs through the pizza dough, but you can get a couple more carbs through your beer if you have a beer with your pizza.
That's true.
Which is a heavenly combination, let's just say.
I personally prefer like a red wine with pizza.
Are you serious?
And water, yes.
Are you serious, bro? Red wine and pizza?
Red wine and water, yeah.
Oh man,
those two next to each other.
You put the water in the red wine?
No, you idiot. I have like a Topo Chico and a glass of wine, and I go back.
You could have a sparkling. You could have a sparkling wine.
Because I like the flavor. No. Because it's the red wine specifically goes well with pizza.
Okay.
And then I like the water because I can't just it makes you thirsty. I can't just chug. I'm not just wine doesn't actually hydrate you really.
Right.
So then I can have water that I can chug down. Chug that Topo.
There you go.
Let's it's also I'd say another reason that leads to its popularity and it's just Ubiquity. It's a great word, Ubiquity.
Mm-hmm. You like that one?
That sounds like a word that I would see on my word of the day. Oh, geez, I have oh no.
What?
Oh, I'm an idiot. Sorry.
What's up?
We're back. I was playing with my AirPods case, and my GarageBand stopped, and it's like, you want to connect your AirPods? Because I was just fiddling with the case. Another reason pizza is so popular, because
and ubiquitous.
Oh yeah, because another reason it's so ubiquitous is because it's the most convenient food out there too. There's nothing more convenient as far as a item that you can eat anywhere on the go while walking, you know?
Mm-hmm. And so easy to share with your friends.
Yes.
Super convenient. You have a box, you put it on the floor or on a table, and each person grabs a slice. I'm thinking of like college kids sitting around. You know, because I'm thinking of this, Jared, because...
I would still prefer if it wasn't on, especially in a college dorm. I really would prefer if it wasn't on the floor. But I hear you.
It's in a box, Jared. You're going to be fine. You'll be fine.
I'm probably
thinking
still
of this,
eat it,
though,
let's
Jared,
be honest.
because I was doing conversation hours with my students last week, and one of my students had their birthday, and to celebrate their birthday, they bought her a pizza. And so they were all sitting around, and they had just finished. There were only a few slices left. And so I actually asked them to show me their pizza, which kind of gave me the light bulb moment for this episode today, because they had, what was on their pizza? It was like corn. It was so weird. It was like corn, peas, onions.
I hate peas, period. But on pizza, it's just an abomination.
Corn, peas, onions.
Ugh, what is this, salad?
And there was, I think, orange peppers. So bell peppers or something, I think.
I'm okay with bell peppers and onions on pizza, but
peas and corn?
Peas and corn is a hard pass. And as I said,
it's hard. Look that great.
It's hard to put a pizza in front of me that I won't eat, and that I wouldn't like.
One of the few.
That's certainly one where I'm like, that's a hard pass.
How about a German style tunfish pizza?
Nah, I don't really like tuna fish in general.
Well, and the weird thing about tuna fish pizza
is it like hot or cold?
That's the thing. That's why I never tried it, because I was like, yeah, if the tuna's, it's got to be hot.
Because tuna in a can is served cold.
Right.
But the pizza, I imagine they put it on after the pizza's been cooked, obviously.
Do they? And then are you sure?
I guess I don't know why I said obviously. I don't know. I've never ordered one. You must. And then, but either way, then you have the weird mix of the colds. Honestly, I'd eat
tuna and the hot pizza.
I'd happily have a Hawaiian pizza before I had a tunfish pizza, which is tuna fish. I don't know if you said it in English for people.
I will say this, Jared. With the Hawaiian pizza, I'll eat it. Like if I'm at like a pizza party, and I'll definitely eat it. But I'm not the type of person where it's like, some people get super offended, like with the idea of pineapple on pizza.
I don't get offended by it because I don't really have that. I'm not that. I don't take pizza that seriously. I don't think it's that sacred.
Right.
I said I'd happily eat
Clearly
pineapple
you're not
pizza.
Italian, Jared.
Clearly, I don't think they take it that seriously either.
Probably not.
I think he's clearly, I'm not from New York, I think is what you should say. I said I would happily eat a pineapple pizza over a tuna fish pizza, but I also don't want a pineapple pizza. But that's how much I don't want tuna fish on my pizza.
Right.
But pineapple pizza to me is not that appealing either. And that's another area where pineapple, it can be hot, but it's not a great hot fruit. It's not a fruit that really translates to being... And the texture on pineapple is interesting. It's interesting mixed with pizza.
I was talking to one of my coworkers, and I forget where they were. They were somewhere abroad. I think they might have been in Mexico, and they made them roasted pineapple, like on the grill.
Yes, I've heard of that.
And apparently that was really good, they were saying.
I've heard of that.
So who knows? But you're right.
I'm also not a huge fan of ham on the pizza. It's certainly... Now, if it was ham... and other stuff, and not the pineapple, I'd eat it, no problem. But ham is never something I would choose.
No, let me ask you this though, Jared. So, I do have some countries that have like their version of pizza, but my question is, what actually, like, how would we actually define a pizza? Because some of these on the list, Jared, I'll be honest with you, I don't agree with some of them. Like when I look at them, to me as a Western, as an American, when I see this, I'm like, I don't know if I would call that a pizza. Like, what do you think? Like, what does something need to have in order to be a pizza?
I think first and foremost, it has to be dough-based, like bread-based.
Okay.
I guess now that's even getting stretched these days with the cauliflower pizzas and gluten-free or whatever pizzas. But bread-based, let's just say.
Okay.
And then see now it already gets shady because I feel like we should all be able to agree on the bread part of it. But I've had pizza that doesn't have sauce on it. But I don't think I've had pizza. I don't think you can call it pizza without cheese. I feel like cheese needs to be there.
I would agree. Yeah.
But I think sauce is a toss up because, for example, a popular thing in Philly, which it's probably popular in other areas on the East Coast, but the first I heard of it obviously was when I lived in Philly, so that's where I heard of it. And it was white pizza, and it was like I don't know,
Alfredo sauce or something.
I don't think it's Alfredo. I don't know what it is because it never really appealed to me. Okay. I don't think it is Alfredo sauce though. I don't. But
it's like a white sauce on it, isn't it?
Yeah. White sauce.
And the white sauce is there instead of the cheese or something,
yes,
right?
Correct.
Yeah. I'm going to give that a thumbs down. I haven't ever tried it, but...
I've had it once or twice. It was fine. Okay. It's just not what I want, you know?
I like cheese. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I like pizza.
No, there was cheese. There is cheese.
Oh, there is cheese.
Oh,
okay.
I thought you said instead of sauce.
Oh, no. Sorry, I meant instead of cheese.
I misheard you.
So,
yeah, it's there's no marinara. There is this white sauce, and then there would be cheese on top of that. I think I found a quick recipe just so I can see what's in it.
Okay.
Butter, milk, and Parmesan. Oh, and garlic and
basic.
Pepper and salt.
Okay.
And it's not bad. It's just not really
nothing
really
special either.
Yeah.
Right.
So Jared, I would say that the sauce. I don't think you need sauce. I'll say whether it be, you don't need marinara
sauce. Is optional.
Yes, but cheese is not.
So bread mandatory, cheese mandatory.
I think that's it.
Toppings. Do you need toppings or
cheese pizza's a thing.
Don't need them.
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, let me go through this list, Jared, of a couple of them, and I want to get your opinion. If you think is this from an American pizza expert, is this pizza or not? I think it'd be kind of fun. So this is called we'll see if I pronounce this right, Zapiekanka from Poland. I'm sure I said that wrong. And this is a baguette-like pizza. It's like an open-faced sandwich and topped with cheese, mushrooms, and a drizzle of Polish ketchup, whatever that means. Other ingredients like feta cheese or olives are often added as well. And it does look like a baguette with like some cheese on it and some sauce. Would you put that in the pizza category?
That looks like an open-faced sandwich to me.
Okay. So almost like a pizza-style open-faced sandwich.
But, see,
kind of like a pizza sub, right?
Now I'm stuck because I would say, because it's not like, do you think pizza also has to, well, no, I guess it doesn't. It's not like it has to come in slice form in any way. You don't necessarily have to.
But that's definitely how I think of it.
But this isn't really conveniently share.
Right.
I mean, I guess you can cut it.
You could cut it, but still. And you can eat it with your hands. But to me, I agree with you, Jared. This one, to me, I would say this is more like a pizza bread.
It's like a personal pizza if it isn't anything.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, pizza bread maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like it needs to be more shareable. Like that's not really. It doesn't. That like it looks like you could easily cut it into pieces, but it doesn't look like it's made to be like sliced up, really.
Right. Okay, let me give you this other dish. This is from Turkey and also Armenia. It's called lamakun. Have you ever had lamakun before, Jared, when you were in Europe?
I don't think so.
It's pretty good. It's like a Turkish or also Armenian flatbread topped with usually some type of spicy minced meat, either lamb or beef, then garnished with onions, tomato, lettuce, parsley, and sometimes also with some lemon.
I mean, it looks delicious, but I'm going to say that's a no.
Oh, really? And I would put that in the yes category. Why do you think it's a no?
Because there's no cheese. And it's just...
okay. That's true. There is no cheese.
And also, the way it's presented is interesting to me because all of the vegetables that I see are in the middle, and then how does that work? You've had it before?
I mean... Well, I just took them and kind of spread them around a little bit.
But you take a piece and then you take some toppings after.
I think so, yeah.
That's an interesting move because I think if you're going to have toppings, when I think pizza, I think the toppings are cooked in
pre-established.
Pre-established, right? You don't get to add your own toppings. And let me be clear, this looks delicious.
Oh yeah.
The red onions look amazing. It looks really good, but I wouldn't call that a pizza. And I'd say the cheese is an important role. And there's not really a sauce either, to be honest with you. I know I said you don't need the sauce, but there's neither a cheese or a sauce. It's more just like the meat with like looks like a seasoning rub.
Right. It's only because you don't want to get lost in the sauce, Jared, and I can appreciate that. My next one for you is...
I should not have given you a shot for that.
I know, right? Anyways, my next one for you is a dish from Georgia, the country, not the state in the United States.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
I'm going to try to pronounce this. We'll see how this goes. Ajaruli Kachapuri. And it's... Here, I will send you how you actually spell this. Or actually, Jared, if you just type in Georgian cheese bread into Google, you should be able to find it.
I see it.
And so this is actually, it's a baked cheese and egg stuffed bread. And the website I'm on Insider right now. They say this resembles a pizza boat. The cheese is usually made with a blend of mozzarella and feta, or a more traditional Imaruli and Sulguni cheese, which are Georgian cheeses, which I've obviously never had.
I mean, maybe you have. You don't have to say
maybe.
Obviously.
That's true. I don't know all the cheese I've ever eaten before.
Delicious.
It looks good, doesn't it?
Is it meant to be shared? Kind of looks like it is.
See, that's
it's
the
kind
thing.
of in between.
Right? This one, I think maybe the thing I like about it, at least the one I see, it looks like that egg yolk is like the perfect level where when you cut into it, the yolk will run a little bit.
Some of them
could be the sauce.
Some of them look like freshly put on, but some of them are cooked up a little bit just from the heat of the pizza, and those look really good. Where the egg white's starting to get white a little bit and not translucent anymore.
Oh, nice.
Looks delicious. I want this too. You're right, by the way. This is really not an episode for the hungry. Luckily, I ate right before this. Yes, this is a Georgian pizza.
Okay, nice.
It's got, I said, it's got a bread base.
Yep.
Very shareable, it looks like. This looks like something you'd get brought to your table before a meal or something like that. And there's cheese.
Not gonna lie, that thing looks really filling. I don't know if it's the way the bread looks, but I feel like I could have like a couple slices of that, and I'd be good.
It's also deceiving how much cheese is in there. It looks like it could either go really deep or just be on top.
At least the picture I'm seeing, the bread also looks kind of folded over.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, who knows?
What's the ratio, bread to cheese ratio?
Right, and it looks pretty thick. At
Either
least
way,
the picture
I'm
I'm seeing of this.
and I'd be happy to eat it, no matter what the ratio is.
Oh, for
Unless
sure.
it was just a giant piece of bread with a tiny little slit, like piece of cheese on top. That would be sad. That would make me. Right. But I don't think that's what it is.
That's true. It's so funny though, Jared. Like having conversations like what is a pizza? Because like at my office, we've had some debates. Like, what's a sandwich? Like, is a hot dog a sandwich? Like, technically, a sandwich is usually 2 pieces of bread and meat. And a lot of times, if you have a hot dog and a bun, it's 2 pieces of bread with meat in the middle.
It's 1 piece of bread. I'd say it's a little different in the sense that it's 1 piece of bread.
Okay, so then if I make a sandwich with only 1 piece of bread and fold it over, is it not a sandwich anymore?
It's a hot dog. No, it's a shitty sandwich.
that would be hilarious. You'd walk around with like a turkey sandwich, but only with 1 piece of bread, and be like, "This is my turkey hot dog."
You're folding it over to simulate a sandwich situation, where if you were to cut that bread in half, it would do the same thing. But this is cutting it down the middle and opening up a piece of bread.
That's fair.
I feel like it's a little different. I don't know why.
It is a little different.
All right, so let's talk about pizza here in the U.S. a little bit.
Okay.
What we know.
We got a lot of styles.
Yes. I actually have a list. We can go through some of them if you want to talk about some of them.
Can I ask?
Yes, please.
So I'm pretty sure the New York style tends to be more that thin crust, right?
See, thin crust is a tricky term because it's more like that. It's not thin. Thin when you I feel like you got to be careful when you say thin because there is like a proper like thin sort of like crunchy crust that's super thin.
Right. That's super tasty, by the way.
But it's here. Let me read this to you. I have an explanation here of how they explain it because it is a little thicker and like they're also. They're all about the. All right, now my internet's gonna go slower. My computer. I can't blame my internet. New York style pizza is easily the most argument-inducing food on this entire list. There's like 50 plus pizzas on this list. We're not gonna go through all of them and beyond. It's a celebration of ratios and textures. Expect a thin, foldable crust. See, that's different. See, that's why I just wanted to clarify. When you say thin, sometimes like it's the thin that you can't fold because it's like paper thin almost.
Right.
Or like. Foldable crispy crust crust with plenty of satisfying chew. That's another important part. It's not really crunchy. And even a layer of an even layer of sauce and a blanket of mozzarella that's generous without being over the top. It's an iconic pizza for a good reason. And so that's the best way to explain it. I would not have done it justice. But yeah, so it's sort of that like in between. It's in between crusts. It's thinner, but it's got some chew to it. It's a little bit of thickness to it in comparison to like a proper thin crust, which is actually. Have you heard of bar pizza, which is a specific style of pizza? You've probably had it.
I'm sure I've had it, but what is it?
So bar pizza is like this. It's like a circular or square pizza, and it's thinner than a New York style pizza, but probably not so thin that it's gonna like. Actually, maybe it will. Actually, you know where we've had it? A place that sells bar pizza. In Albion, we had a place that sold bar pizza. Was Gino's kind of sold bar pizza.
Oh, you're right.
Except they put the cheese on top, and you don't have to do that. But bar pizza is just super thin. And the cheese line, what do you call it? The cheese crust line. There was some Italian term for it. Goes super high up.
Offhand, yeah.
To you know what? Actually, it kind of reminds me of what's that super popular German frozen pizza brand?
Dr. Oetker.
I think so. I don't know why I asked because I just know what the label looks like. But I can't
it's Dr. Oetker.
Yeah, it's kind of reminiscent of that style.
Or
pizza.
Tombstone in the U.S.
And oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. And so I hate that pizza though. I've probably had it like once, the Tombstone one. I just avert my eyes whenever I see that one. And so that's even more thin crust than the New York style pizza. Frozen pizza, by the way, is a style in its own.
That's true.
Obviously DiGiorno is the most popular frozen pizza in the States. I don't know. Now I wonder, because I don't know any answers to this. This is just all speculation. Pizza talk, as we call it. We're just having some pizza talk, Chad. All right, casual pizza talk. I wonder. It feels like frozen pizza might have had a pretty big influence in the beginning of like crust innovation. Sticking shit into the crust. Either that or Pizza Hut. I'm sure Pizza Hut might have actually been where it started. But I feel like the innovation...
Can't go wrong with that cheese stuffed crust.
I don't like
That's some good stuff.
I don't have a problem with it. It tastes fine, but it's just too filling. I prefer the taste of the pizza to the taste of the crust. So I rather... And it bums me out because I do enjoy pizza crust, but with the cheese fill, it's too filling. It's
I would rather have a flavored crust, I think, over a stuffed crust for sure.
Like some sort of garlic,
like
seasoning
a garlic
or something.
Cajun or something. Yeah,
that's another, I believe, American innovation.
I think so too.
And of course it is a flavor blast. Yeah. It's us Americans finding every little spot where we can just eke out more flavor.
Yep.
Because every we'll go back to frozen pizza, because I think that, by the way, what you just mentioned, that is an innovation of trash pizza. I think the flavor blasting of crust is purely trash pizza. Trash pizza to me, how would you explain? Do you have any way you would explain trash pizza, Chad?
Just really cheap pizza. I don't know.
Sure. My specific explanation for it would be... sorry, I just got distracted. I was looking at the angle. I was like, are those doors different sizes? But they're not. It's just perspective. It was like the fast food of pizza. Like when I think of trash pizza, it kind of gets equated to definitely not a sit down place.
Right.
And it was sort of at least in the United States, it's the originators of the delivery pizza, as far as the like the Pizza Huts. Pizza Hut might be Pizza Hut's actually on the edge, because Pizza Hut in certain areas does have a pretty awesome sit down area, but I think they're certainly trash pizza because they also have a literal fast food establishments with drive-through pizza, which is kind of rare. So they both
Little Caesars as well, don't they have drive-throughs too?
Yeah, they do.
Some of them?
Little Caesars is trash pizza. Little Caesars really, they took trash pizza and said, "Oh, I'll see your trash pizza and raise you the $5 hot and ready, where we just have a giant oven of pizzas ready to go, and you come in, give us a $5 bill, and we give you a pizza, and you have and it's a gamble." Because they could have either just made a fresh batch minutes or like a minute ago and you get a hot pizza, or you see them, it's the saddest moment. And it's so crazy I'm even thinking about this because I haven't had Little Caesars in forever. You see them pull like one from the bottom and the rest of the thing is empty. You're screwed. And it's like, that means that this clearly has been around for a while if they're pulling out the last one from this one. So that always hurts a little bit. Michigan, by the way, is kind of the home of trash pizza.
Good, yeah. And when I say good, I mean not good as in high quality in terms of fancy, but we do have a lot of different options that are in Michigan, pizza-wise, which is kind of cool.
We have a lot that are just in Michigan, but we also have a good number that are national, too. Like, how do we get so many pizza,
right?
Like trash
Domino's
pizza places?
Is national.
Domino's is national, and Domino's for sure, and that's from Ann Arbor. And then
Jets is from Michigan, too,
yeah,
right?
But I don't think
and
they're
Little
national.
Caesars.
I think that's sort of regional.
Is it? It could be.
Little Caesars is national.
Yeah,
they're from Metro Detroit area. What the Illiches?
The Illiches, yep.
And there's another one that we're missing out for. There's got to be one more. I think we're missing out.
Was Pizza Hut from Michigan?
I don't think so.
Okay.
There's also Hungry Howie's, but I think that's also regional.
I think that's only a Michigan one. Yeah.
But yeah, we at least got two.
I will say two
national ones.
In Michigan, we're also kind of geographically located at an interesting spot because you can find Chicago-style pizza in Michigan in some places if you look for it, And I've also seen New York-style pizza joints, around Michigan in some random spots as well.
I would say you kind of got to look for Chicago-style pizza. It's not
sure.
Around
it's not
here.
In every pizza place.
The reason I think you see New York style, there's a pizza place I love in Birmingham called Brooklyn Pizza, and I guess that's New York style. It's called Brooklyn Pizza,
right?
And I think the reason you see that all over the place because the branding behind New York pizza is so strong.
Could be,
and I think the branding behind New York pizza is a lot strong, and more people want New York pizza than Chicago pizza. Let's be honest; it's cheaper. It's a lot easier to eat. That's what I'm saying.
Filling too.
This is why New York pizza is better pizza, and I'm going to say it because it hits on so many of those marks that forget the flavor and taste. It hits on so many of those marks that make pizza one of the greatest foods in the world. Convenience. You got to be a superhero to be able to hold a Chicago-style pizza and eat it while you're walking.
Oh, no kidding. Or somehow be able to turn on like slow motion so you don't drop everything everywhere.
And then price a small Chicago-style pizza is like $50,
right?
Like, it's crazy how expensive it is. And it makes sense because just the pure volume of material
Toppings
being used.
And everything else.
And then convenience, it takes like 45 minutes for them to make it because of how thick it is. So even before we get to the flavor preferences, you're already missing out on so many of the aspects that make pizza so ubiquitous. That's the word. I need to remember that word somehow and incorporate it into the ubiquity of pizza.
There we go.
That
Around
almost sounds
world.
like it's going to be a lot deeper of a topic than that we actually made it.
Hey, we got philosophical. We asked the question, what is pizza?
True. That's true. So trash pizza is the fast food of pizza. That's that,
right?
And that's pizza that really only conforms to the sense of being pizza in the sense that it's like dough, sauce,
quick and easy,
and
dough,
cheese.
Yeah, dough, sauce,
but
cheese.
Like that's really where the innovations come in, where they're like, hey, we'll stick shit in the crust for you. What sort of seasoning would you like on the crust? Which, by the way, if we're being honest, these are all low class things to hide the fact that this pizza does not taste as good as like genuine, high like New York pizza, which is fine.
Artisanal pizza,
which is fine, and if you know what you're getting, it doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is why I call it trash pizza, because it's fast food and there's no real. The art to it is like, how can we make this as cheap as fast as possible and flavor blast it.
Right.
Instead of actually just making using good materials.
Right. So we have our New York style pizza. We have our trash pizza.
Let's talk about Chicago.
We have our Detroit and Chicago style pizzas.
Yes.
Hawaiian pizza, which would be the ham, pineapple on your pizza. What else?
I wonder, though, is that popular in Hawaii?
That's a good question. That's the weird thing, Jared, about pizza is like that the popular names of pizzas. Like here's a crazy example for you. I will never forget this. I was in the Czech Republic. I was in this town dead set in the middle of the Czech Republic called Humpolec. I'm pretty sure we recorded an episode when I was there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And there was a pizza place we walked by, and I kid you not, they had the Barack Obama pizza. And do you know what was on the pizza, Jared?
Something racist? I don't know. Chocolate chips?
No. It was pepperoni. I think it was like pepperoni, bacon, French fries.
What?
And I think that was it.
Did he like visit that pizza place or something?
Probably not. I highly doubt that.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, we didn't. It was closed when we noticed it, so we didn't go in.
Czech Republic. He probably did not go to a random pizza shop in Humpolec, Czech Republic.
Right.
Do you want
we got some good Czech food there.
Some more pizza styles?
Oh yeah. What else do we have?
I've never heard of Grandma's Pizza. Have you heard of that before?
What is that?
Grandma's Pizza is. I need to be more prepared because for some reason. I think it's because my computer is super hot. You know, once again, I'm always trying new setups for some reason. So I've gone down to a single computer setup, and now this shit's loading super slow. Forget. We'll come back to Grandma's style pizza. Actually, no, we won't. Here it is. Grandma's pizza. Grandma style is a little confusing because we're here to set the record straight for you. This Long Island original is very similar to the rectangular, more bready Sicilian style, which is more like focaccia. Oh, that looks good. Oh,
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
It actually looks like Detroit-style pizza, except for the sauce is under the cheese.
So I bet you the dough tastes a little different. It might be like seasoned a little differently or something.
The dough does also look a little less hearty than a Detroit-style pizza.
Right.
If you've ever wondered about the name, it's because this is the style of pizza that was frequently made at home. Grandmothers used to make it with whatever they had on hand, as the stories go. These pies are thinner than Sicilian, and often with sauce on top of the cheese. Oh, often on sauce on top, like Detroit style.
In a way, Jared, this kind of sounds like the Sicilian grandma version of like a gumbo, where it's like you just kind of take whatever odds and ends ingredients you have and make a pizza out of it.
Yeah, and that is sort of, I feel like, fits into how I picture pizza in Italy, where it's like this is just something we throw together, and it's like, all right, now let's leave that out during the day, and you can eat that as and people can go past and pick up. Well, that's the beauty of pizza,
though, Jared, is just the amount of diversity. I feel like if we want to use a good food as a metaphor for the United States, honestly, I feel like a pizza is a pretty damn good food. Just because there's so much diversity.
Yes. Yeah, it's a perfect representation of the pizza, of the people. The pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Pizza for the people, Jared.
And see, even the best part too is I can eat all types of pizza. Bring them all on. They all are different and have different qualities and different things that I like about them and different things that they bring to the table and that they bring to the conversation as far as food goes. But I'm trying to think. It's hard for me even to really say what would be my favorite go-to style, just because it's like it depends on what I'm looking for, because there's so many different ways you can go with a pizza, Let me give you another one. Let's get a little more unique. We're getting into sort of these classic styles of pizza that are all well and good. Sure. But let's go a little. Have you ever had and or heard of a breakfast pizza? I mean, I'm down.
No.
I've definitely had many a breakfast pizzas, but
is it a pizza with like, I don't know,
I mean, it's kind of gross.
Sausage, eggs, what's on it?
It doesn't look appealing to me is what I should say.
Okay.
My favorite breakfast pizza is leftovers from yesterday.
That's true.
Breakfast pizza is not so much its own pizza style, but more of a combination of toppings you'd find in a typical American home-style breakfast. Though it's worth mentioning just because it's fun, toppings aren't necessarily on a base of tomato sauce and cheese. I'll see, now we're getting a little iffy. I figured the cheese would be there because I see it in the picture. Toppings aren't necessarily... in terms of breakfast pizzas, you've got a little more room to play. Think eggs, sausage, gravy, breakfast sausage, bacon, cheddar cheese, potatoes, and we've even seen some whose crust are made of biscuits. It can be eaten at any time of the day. There's no rules, just pizza. This one that it has that's in the picture has like a square of strips of bacon with 2 eggs sunny side up on top of a base of cheese. I can't tell if there's sauce on there. Does not really.
I'm not gonna lie, Jared.
Bell pepper on there too.
As much as
Doesn't
I like
look that appealing.
As much as I like the majority of those ingredients,
that doesn't sound like a proper mix to me.
Yeah, I would just rather have breakfast at that point.
The Georgians used egg better in their pizza application.
I would rather have that Georgian pizza for breakfast pizza, I think, than the one you just described, for sure.
Me too. If we're going to have to choose a pizza with egg on it, I agree with you.
That Georgian one, looked fire. That looked really good.
Yeah, it did. I'm still thinking about that. All right, so I'm done talking about pizzas per se. Obviously, there are other types we didn't get to, various deep dishes that are different than the ones we talked about. But we hit the ones that I'm interested in. But I have a couple, let's say, on the fence ones that I'd like to ask you about.
Oh, yeah, let's do it. Let's hear it.
We've talked about what is a pizza and what is not a pizza. A calzone, pizza or not a pizza?
I would say a calzone is like a... Calzone is pizza's little brother or cousin or something. Because, Jared, I feel like a calzone, it's kind of a different, like, yes, you can still obviously eat it with your hands, but me personally, at least a couple of times I've ordered a calzone, it just got so messy trying to eat it with my hands that a fork and a knife was so much better.
Yeah.
Whereas with a pizza, you can kind of do either way.
Because it's granted in the States, so it's hard to hold. And then like you take bites out and this boiling sauce comes out into your mouth.
Right.
And there's no chance for it to cool down. So yeah. But you wouldn't call it a pizza. No, it's a calzone. No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's its own thing.
Bagel bites.
Sure. I mean, no, I would say that's a pizza-based snack.
Yeah, I agree. Because they also have pizza. There's also pizza rolls. That's
also pizza-based snack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I agree with you. It's like
that's kind of like almost like that Polish pizza bread. Like, I don't consider that a pizza. It's a pizza bread. Like, it's different,
that
similar but different.
That Polish thing that you brought up almost kind of reminds me of. I think there is it Stouffer's that makes those things? Like
I think
one of those frozen, like long, like not flatbreads. Is that what they call it?
Or no, I don't know what they call it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I can picture the box in my head right now.
You came up with the perfect term. It took an hour, but it is pizza-based snack. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's like this is the idea of pizza, and we've fashioned it into another form where you still get tastes and reminders of pizza, but it's not pizza. It's a calzone or whatever. It just happens to use the same ingredients, fashioned into a different form.
Right. I will say this too, Jared. The pizza calzone thing, I like pizzas better just because I feel like, especially when I get pepperoni, I like it when it's a little bit crispy.
Yes.
And you just won't ever get that crispy pepperoni with a calzone.
The trick is not how it works. To cook the pepperonis a little bit first somehow, like in a skillet you can put them and then put it in.
Smart.
That's what I would do.
That's smart. Okay.
But I'm with you. That's what I would do. People at restaurants, they're not as smart as me, Chad. We can't guarantee that anyone else is doing this.
That's fair. Well, who knows how much training some of these young cooks have in the kitchen,
That's true. My problem with
and
calzones,
how much time
by the
they
way,
have, too.
Similar problem that I had with the Chicago pizza or the flavor blasted crust pizza. It's too much crust for me. The crust to pizza ratio. Right. Like I enjoy the toppings and the cheese and the sauce, and I don't want to get filled with bread.
The bread is just the vessel to carry all of the goodness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want mostly bread with some sauce and cheese on it.
Right. Yeah. The thing that still blows my mind though, Jared, is just how pizza is interpreted in different countries. I saw some crazy looking pizzas in China. There's this really amazing place. If you want to Google it, Jared, it's called Turbo Pizza. And Turbo Pizza, they sell I think like a 40-inch pizza. Like, it's huge. And on one of the menus, you can open up the menu, and the way it's really creative.
Out.
The way and so you can see how big the pizza is. And I'm not going to lie, Jared, as an American, I saw that, and I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of pizza. We have some pretty big pizzas here.
Oh, I can't find it.
Pretty sure
I just typed in Turbo Pizza in China.
Or it might be,
but it gets a whole bunch
Station?
of random.
I'll look it up
stuff.
real quick.
Well, we'll talk about it after, though. I get the gist of it. Okay, he's gonna look it up now.
I'm gonna look it up. Yep. But But yeah, I mean, it's Tube Station Pizza. Tube Station. I got it wrong. But they have gigantic pizzas, and it's quite the place. And that was really interesting, though, just to see just the different combination of ingredients and stuff for toppings.
Besides for being, I'm sure you can get a whole bunch of toppings that are foreign to us here in the U.S. But as far as pizza goes, it looks like a pretty normal pizza, it looks like you can easily get sort of toppings that are very relatable to you and
you can still get the very normal kind of Western style, regular
looks
old
good,
pizza.
Actually. Even the gigantic
it was
one
great.
Looks good. The crust looks good.
Oh, it was so good.
You know what I like about a crust? I don't know if this is... I like the crust. It also I don't know if it's real or not, but it also gives the sense of like this is made by someone that cares about crust and is actually made properly and not trash pizza style. Where when the crust has like a little bit of like the flour residue from when they were like tossing it, and you sort of get the flour on the crust a little bit. I like that. I see a little bit of that in some of these Tube Station pizzas, and it gets me excited.
Yeah, they had some really good ones, that's for sure. Well, Jared, I think that covers.
I think
we've had a solid pizza discussion today, Jared.
I think we did.
And I'm glad I also ate before this episode, but I might need a little snack now. Sadly, I don't have any pizza-based snacks here, but who knows? Which I'm kind of surprised. When I was a kid, I loved bagel bites, so I'm surprised.
But as an adult, laying around. Like I went to Meijer the other day. My normal grocery store doesn't have that stuff really, and I just happened to be at Meijer the other day because I'm
because you shop at all the bougie places, Jared.
Kinda, yeah, actually. But I'm moving into a new house, so I need a whole bunch of crap. And I walked past the frozen food section. You should have seen me walking past the frozen French fry section and the frozen pizza section. It was like just that slow walk. And just in my head, I'm like, you don't need a frozen pizza. You don't get a frozen pizza. I'm like, ooh, I do like that. You don't need a What do you a frozen pizza? Well, don't get a and then ooh, I like
nice
those fries.
And easy, though, right?
It was torturous. It was torturous.
Yeah, you got to be careful in those frozen sections. That's for sure, Jared. Alrighty, well, let us know what kind of pizza you like, or if you have any crazy pizza stories or pizza-like foods, let us know at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. You can slide into those DMs on Twitter, untranslatable1, the number 1. Also, check us out on Instagram and YouTube, Untranslatable Podcast. And please, 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. Let us know how we can make this podcast better for you. So, as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, dziękujemy, muchas gracias, shishi, and do svidania.